Oh, hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. It's Pirate Girl. Have you been down here? This is the Causeway. Come check out my boat. We're just here at the boat club. The Causeway, Waiheke Island, New Zealand. Just watch your step. Forgive the mess, because yeah, we're in the middle of a lot of things right now. So here we are at the boat club. Lady Rebecca has been out of the water now for 2 weeks, but unfortunately, it's been school holidays. That puts a real damper on trying to get anything done. I have been able to work, you know, little by little, especially if Andrew has a friend. That makes all the difference. Otherwise, he tends to steal my phone and lock himself in the car. Which drives me freaking mad. But I have managed to get, you know, quite a bit done, I reckon. First we had to block her all up and get her off that trailer. Okay, block that shit up. Then get all the water out of her. Scraped all of the barnacles that I couldn't get to before. Water blasted her. And since then I've been sanding her. Let's go. Fucking hate sanding. There's a few little rotten spots that I've had to get to. Strange hobby, eh? Yeah, it's funny. Ever since the very beginning of my sailing adventures, I got right into the boat work. Some people might say that's inevitable when you know, have a boat. But actually, as a woman, I could have avoided it altogether. There's always a man who can do it better, especially when you're young and hot. But for me, that was a big part of it, was, you know, being able to do my own boat work. Within the first year, I bought her in 1997. I was 22 years old. Within the first year, besides moving aboard, and believe me, when I moved aboard, I was freaking clueless. Within 3 days of moving aboard, all of the electrical stuff stopped working. The lights, the stove, which had a solenoid, the VHF radio, everything stopped working. And I fucking flipped out thinking that was it, everything just broke. Called over a boater friend of mine, and apparently there's something called a battery on your boat. I had no idea. But within that first year, I had gotten the engine going. And I took her out all the time. She kind of taught me how to sail. And then I ended up taking her out of the water, doing a bottom job. My mom's boyfriend, who I'd done a bunch of sailing with as a teenager, flew out to help me. And then I spent about 3 months meticulously wiring her. I seriously soldered every single connection. I even made my own switchboard. Ridiculous amount of work. And then Hurricane George, 1998, slammed the Florida Keys hard. Sank my boat. And that's when I really dove into the boat work. There was a 6-foot hole in the side. You can see where the hole was before we started the repair. My friend Lars gave me a deal on his services, got me started on the job, and taught me how to do it so I could finish it up on my own. Here she is with the repair all done, sans bottom paint. And blue. What a good girl going up and down the ladder. And after 5 months on the hard, she's all solid, smooth, and looking good. Meanwhile, I took apart my diesel engine piece by piece down to a box of dirty parts, sandblasted each one, and put it all back together again with the help of my friend RC at Peninsular Marine on Stock Island. And at last, it was ready to install. Of course, I had to align her properly. And here's all the gauges that I'd mounted and would wire in. And of course, all the plumbing. We seriously put it in and out of the boat at least 2 or 3 times, and there kept being issues. And finally, the last time, RC was out fishing, and I did the complete install from dock to turnkey all by myself. The old fuel tank was super rusty, so I cut out the cockpit floor, put in a new fuel tank, extra water tank, and carried on ripping out rot all the way into the back deck. New plywood, some fiberglass, and paint. Damn, that looks good. I was proud of this little job as it was my first finished carpentry. And then I turned my attention to the broken bowsprit. A local shipwright gave me the general idea of how to go about it, and I built this one. Of course, it's never that easy, so I had to replace the decking under it. Here she is, looking all gorgeous. Although I drilled the holes to mount the windlass, but never mounted it. That would come back to bite me in about 8 years. And soon thereafter, I went sailing up the East Coast and landed in Hatteras, North Carolina. Well, actually, I landed in Beaufort, and a commercial fisherman convinced me to come to Hatteras, but that's a whole nother story. where I took down the masts, built new spreaders, completely refinished them, and rewired them, all under the house that I helped build. And then up they go. And then I started digging into the rot in the cabin front and cockpit. I wasn't scared. I was getting real good at this. Plywood, glass, plywood, glass. Oh yeah. And what the hell? Even though I'd already replaced bits of the deck, I took off the tow rail, started at the bow, working my way back, and replaced all of the decking on the entire boat. Because I go fucking hard. And then for her final purple paint job, I added these external chain plates so they could be more easily inspected. And of course the dinghy needed to match. Nutshell pram. Best dinghy ever. By this point, I was fully preparing to launch my charter business, Live Your Dream Charters, with Captain Davina. Splash! And you remember that bowsprit that I didn't seal properly? Well, here she is, all new. Won't make that mistake again. And then I replaced all of the standing rigging. And up she goes again. Sorry, boys. I know you have some valid ideas, but can you just shut up and do what I tell ya? Hot damn, does she look good. And with the help of my dear friend Steve, master woodworker, and his lathe, we built the taft rail. And of course, topsides and trim needed painting. My dear friend Dawn, who became the first mate for my charter, helped me get her all gorgeous. I ran my charter business for a few summers, took her down to the Bahamas and back, and that was the last hurrah on Azure Light. Damn, I did a lot of boat work. And here I am doing it again. Anyway, I gotta get back to work. My son's finally back in school, and I've got 3 weeks to get this boat in the water. Maybe you want to help. I totally have an extra sander. I'll put you to work. Hey, come back next time.